So as I walk around the bike, one more thing that I think about is the brakes. And this is something that Triumph already is taken care of on the newer bikes, and also the traction control. But if you're thinking about one of these guys, or if you have one of these guys, um, especially for two-up riding, the front brake is pretty marginal. Um, the anti-lock brakes do work though, so if you really need to clamp down on them, they do work. But I replaced all my brake pads with double high sintered brake pads, which are a little more aggressive on the discs, but they work a lot better. It'd still be nice to have a little more brake power on the front brake. Um, but with the issues that I had on the rear tire, the traction control does not work as far as I'm concerned. And maybe does not work is not the right term. Maybe the right term is doesn't function well enough. But basically, anytime my rear tire would break loose on this motorcycle, I would back off and bring the bike back up. As far as I'm concerned, if you're faster and you react quicker than your traction control is no good. But again, Triumph fixed that, and I assume they fixed it because they changed the whole thing in 2019 as far as that goes. So one last thing that I'm thinking about, there is some information that I've seen on the internet about the shifter not working, going down. And I mean, one of the guys has a whole website, seems to be about it, and he doesn't seem to say too much. Um, Another guy that I saw says that he dropped the bike and it bent the plate that's on the end of this shifter rod. That's the actual shift mechanism. And my bike, 19,000 miles on it, it still shifts fine. I noticed that I have a little bit of trouble adjusting the clutch, and that's probably me. But I just try to make sure the clutch stays adjusted because this seems to be a somewhat slender mechanism. And I actually dropped the bike once on the left side. I was playing with my ramps on how to get the bike in and out of my pickup, and I used to walk it down instead of riding it down, and I don't know, somehow I lost it, and the bike didn't fall much because it fell on top of me, which was kind of nice. It just kind of, I was able to cushion its fall, but it did hit the shift lever, and the shift lever did actually kind of come loose. I might have lucked out because maybe it wasn't clamped on there real well. Um, so, and it also made my um, muffler come loose. But I just tightened everything up, and I was fine. Um, but it is slender when you're shifting with your foot on this thing compared to shifting with your foot on this thing. I mean, it's completely different. That's kind of like you feel like you're stepping on a hammer shank, and this kind of feels like, you're operating a little lever with your foot, and this one shifts easier than than the big guy, but um, you know, it probably helps to have your um, clutch adjusted correctly. And one guy, he put washers in here. I think that's likely a very good thing to do because if this is getting hammered and the shaft goes all the way through a couple of inches past the clutch, I don't think it's shaft bending that could be bending that plate that's at the end of the shaft. I think it's got to be the hammering. So if if you have washers in here and the case takes that hammer effect, I think, I think for sure that would take care of the problem that the guys may be seeing on that shift plate. But that's just my, that's just my opinion. So, and we know what they say about opinions. I think there are going to be a lot of people watching this video saying, man, this guy's off the wall. But anyway, that's my thought.